So last week I talked about the embarrassing thing where I walked into a wall. I thought I was far enough in my hall, and I turned and I walked full force into the walls, scratched up my glasses, busted up my forehead a little bit. You know, it was just not fun and stuff. But people like hearing those stories because us neurodivergents, that stuff happens. Like I talked about earlier this week, you know, bumping into different things, hitting your shoulder on things, you know, just doing that ADHD, that neurodivergent slide around different things and getting caught up on something like with a pant loop and stuff. But I tell you, what kind of got me over being embarrassed about a lot of that stuff was an event that happened. I've talked about it before, but I went to a place where I pick up parts for my car and stuff, and it's all glass in the front of it. So everyone inside there can see out and stuff, see everyone walking up and everything. And there was a walkway, but a little short wall. And everyone who buys jeans nowadays knows that jeans have stretch in them. You can do squats in jeans nowadays and you ain't gonna rip them and stuff. You can do all kinds of, you know, back in the 70s and stuff, I think Chuck Norris had some kung fu shorts. Well, we got kung fu jeans nowadays. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, there was this little wall. It wasn't very tall, you know, a little bit. But I was like, I can hop over that and, you know, get to my parts and all that jazz. So I go over there and I go to hop up it and my leg goes up. Well, guess what? This was the day I wasn't wearing jeans with stretch. So my leg went up and my leg stopped. My other foot went to push me up as my leg stopped. I couldn't make it over the wall. So I ended up flipping over the wall, landing in a pile on the ground, and not one of those piles that you can kind of like roll out of it and play off that you did some parkour type crap. No, I landed out there flat. Male person saw me. All the people inside the company saw me and stuff, and I had to get up and go in there and get my parts and just, hey, stuff happens. And when I walked out of that place and I got in my car and I drove it, like as soon as I pulled out of the parking lot, I just started laughing at myself. And that's when I knew I got past something that I really suffered from. Because in the past when I made mistakes, especially if I did something like that, oh man, I would have walked back to my car and I would have left. I would be like, I don't know who that person was. You know, I would have been so embarrassed. I would have taken it so personal making that mistake, you know. But now stuff happens, you know. All of us have these stories, all of us have these goofy events and stuff. So don't take things so serious. Don't be embarrassed about stuff. We all do things, all of us. So have an awesome Thursday. You're an awesome human being, and I love you so much. Peace out.